sunshine fall down on me. I just wanna feel that new day come set me free. In the distant breeze, let's get together now, make some memories, so we could do it all over again. Yeah, we could do it all over again, so we could do it all over, do it all over, do it all over again. Oh yeah. Sunshine, the daylight, sun, the daylight, the sunshine, yeah. I just wanna spend these moments letting them go by. I couldn't make a bad move hilltop, even if I tried. I just wanna hold this feeling forever if I can. For Brook and some oxygen, and we could do it all over again. Say we could do it all over again every Sunday. Say we could do it all over, do it all over, do it all over again. I just wanna taste this good life in every breath I take. We could watch another day break if you're still awake, and we could do it all over again. Yeah, we could do it all over again, so we could do it all over, do it all over, do it all over again. The sunshine, the daylight, I need the daylight, the sunshine, the daylight, sun, I need the daylight, the sunshine, the daylight, sun, I need the daylight, the sunshine, yeah. I just wanna see that sunshine fall down on me. I just wanna feel that new day come set us free. Happy Sunday, welcome everybody. Yeah, Jim Jones.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I miss having Walter, and so I was being Walter today, just my own howling next to my buddy here, Lee. Good morning. I'm so glad you guys are here. So good to see some of you. So actually, it's good to see all of you.
Wow.
Yikes, man, tough crowd. Yeah, it's actually good to see all of you. It's good to see all of you. And from my heart, I really mean that. There's nobody that I'm thinking I wish they weren't here. Gosh. What is it, 10:37, and I've already nosedived. Anyway, it's good. And no, I'm not. I'm just going to say hello to you out there in the virtual world, and how grateful it is. I'm grateful that you guys are there as well. And so I'm excited. We got all kinds of cool things going on, and I'm just happy to see everybody. And there's a couple people. Well, there's every one of you. I'd like to hear your story, because I'm sure we all have a story for the week. However, let's get moving here. moving along. We have a board meeting today, and that's a really important thing. It's the business of our community, and any and all of you guys are welcome. One of the things that I take great pride in about our community is that we are totally transparent. We're transparent with our finances. We're transparent with our businesses and anything and all the endeavors that we do. So if you are curious about any of that, you are more than welcome to be there. And it's about to be about 10 minutes after the service, after Kurt, who I guess is flying solo. No, Julieta's with Kurt this morning in the kitchen, so grab a bite to eat and then we'll have a board meeting. Let's see, the Art of Prayer and Meditation is a class. So we've had to push the class back a week because we got a notice from Fallbrook Water Authority that they're turning the water off in this neighborhood, and we just did not think that would be a good idea. If people, whatever the case, you can use your own imagination of why it's a good idea to have running water in this building, and why it would not be a good idea to have a class without it. So anyway, so Paul, anything you want to say about the class? Because he's the instructor.
Yeah, so I deeply want to invite you from the bottom of my heart to this class. It's going to be very special for me, and I'm sure it'll be special for you. It's my first time teaching an accredited class. So if you're available, I invite you to this class. We will be going over meditation, and we will be going over prayer, which is affirmative prayer treatment. But I think it's a really good calling for me, and I'm sure for all of us, especially the times we're going through right now. It'll just give you some space to really ground and then really call forth a life that you want to have, right? And it doesn't have to be anything that is tangible. It can be calling forth a greater sense of peace, a greater sense of love, and a greater sense of community. So if you are available, I urge you to sign up for it. I already have a few people, no pressure, but yeah, going to join me on that class. So it'll be really good. We'll have a good group, a good intimate group where we get to just really explore these beautiful vehicles and technologies that we have to center in our own spiritual life. So it'll be on September 24th. 24th? Yeah, September 24th. It's a Wednesday night at 6:30, and it'll be here. And that's nice too, because lately we've been doing Zoom classes. Nothing against Zoom, but I remember doing classes where there was just a small group of people, and it was just so lovely. You know, we'll have food, we'll just pray and meditate. It'll be great. I promise. You'll love it.
That just dawned me. See me afterwards. I got a caveat for you, a really good one.
And hi, I'm Andrea. I just want to add one other thing for all of you that are on the practitioner path and or thinking about it or like to move in that direction. We have the Heartbeat of Spirit Foundation Scholarship Fund. So those are for people who are on the practitioner path. So please see me about that anytime. Thank you.
Okay, so that's going on. So New Thought in the World. These are basically unscripted conversations. We just sort of explore what's up in the world and put it in the context of the teaching of what New Thought is and where that is. And they're a lot of fun, and we've gotten some really interesting conversations from them. So those are the last Sunday, the fourth Sunday of the month. So the next one will be September 28th. That was my brother Jim's birthday. And so if you'd like to join, we'd love to have you for that. And then on the first Sundays of the month, we are going through Middle Earth. We are doing Lord of the Rings. So we just did, last week we did Fellowship of the Ring. We got to Rivendell, so we're about to take off from Rivendell and go on to the adventure. If you're interested in that, I'd love to have you join. It's really, if you're a nerd, it's a cool thing. So that's going on here as well. Yes, my dear.
I forgot, Mantra's on the 28th. I'll tell you.
Mantra's on the 28th as well. Thank you. So this is a really cool thing, is Fairview Canyon. If you've not seen these guys before, they're coming October 11th. They are just amazing. They really are just amazing band. And so that will be, and there it went. And so that brings us to well-being in the Tao, which is Jim's class. Anything you want to say about that, Jim?
So we're just getting next week we'll be starting a session where we're going to be talking about some of the foundational aspects of Taoism. So if you're interested in trying to figure out a little bit more of what this is, that would be a great time for you to show up. Hope to see you then.
I did not mention about the links for Eventbrite for Fairview Canyon. Yeah, if you go to our website, there's links to Eventbrite where you can purchase tickets, or just talk to Andrea and she can direct you where to go to how to do that. So that's happening. Also, Open Mind Gift Shop. There's all kinds of cool things in there. So please check that out accordingly. Yes, Mary D.
I wanted to make an announcement this morning.
Please do. Mary D is our board president. She gets to do anything she wants.
Not quite.
Well, that's true. If you love God, you can do whatever you want, says Augustine.
I'm probably loud enough without this, but for those of you who weren't here last year for Thanksgiving, it was an awesome event.
It was.
We had just about 100 people sharing, and it was inspiring. So this year we're going to do a little different twist. The board has decided that for everyone who attends, we will have a small gift for you to show you our appreciation for who you are. We are also putting out there that we're going to have a display so that you can come and do some Christmas shopping, and all proceeds will go to the center. So if you have art that you do, if you have something you would like to contribute, I would like to know that sooner than later. And of course, in a couple of weeks, we'll have a sign-up sheet so that you can think of your favorite family dish that you would like to bring to share. So the board will be providing the turkey, the stuffing, the basics. So we're looking forward to having a better, bigger, more wonderful event than we had last year.
Fabulous, thank you.
Well, it's going to be the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and I don't know what day that is.
The Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Okay, super.
Okay, Ministry of Prayer. So the practitioners get together every Friday morning and we pray together. It's a wonderful experience. And we pray for you if you have requests. So that's one of the things that we do. Also, there's other ways to get prayer from our community. If your heart has been touched in any way, please don't leave without getting it. You can see one of the practitioners. Liz is here, Andrea's here, Paul is here. Any other practitioners in the room? Give it through. So anyway, one of those practitioners, just go up to one of them and ask them for prayer. They'd be more than happy to pray with you. You can fill out a prayer request in the narthex, and we will pray on that. You can also, if you'd like to have some deep spiritual counseling, you can make an appointment with I myself or any of the practitioners, and we are available for you. The thing that we do mostly, and I think with great excellence, is we pray, which is basically to hold the highest thought. So there's that. Anything else going on with things that people should know? Kind of feel like there is, but I guess I'm wrong. Oh, Jim and I are going to do a Sunday service together on October 5th. We're going to talk about determinism, and whether or not determinism is whatever determinism is, and how that affects it or doesn't affect it. I don't know. It's just and what our take on it is. It's meant to be. People that know me know that that if you ever want to rackle me, that's what just have to say. You just, yeah, it's meant to be. By whom and for what, but that's the case. So I think it's a good time to start service. But before we do that, is our question of the day. And our question of the day comes from Sarah Brightman and what's his name? Pavarotti. Yes. Time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye. And so with this, now that we're in autumn and things are fading, what is it that has served you that it is time for you to say goodbye to? So it's not so much what I'm saying goodbye to and then what I'm inviting in, it's how are they related. So a pro tip on this would be, I want to thank you very much for this, and now it's time to say goodbye. Make sense? So that's our question of the day. What are you saying goodbye to make room for what? Clay must have read that because he is the first hands up. But Clay, I'm going to invite you to be patient so that we can have the group up here. The high mandarins who are wise and knowing of all things. We'll start with Jim.
Oh, no goodbyes. It's not time to say goodbye. He's holding on today. Okay, for me, yeah, I think that's what happened. For me, all I could think of was my cortisol in my body and this buildup of the fight or flight mechanism that happens unnecessarily all the time. Like there's little things in my mind or something that triggers me, and all of a sudden I feel that in my body. And so I'm like, I feel the warning, buddy. There's nothing I can do about that situation, so I'm gonna say goodbye to that right now. Thanks for the warning. Let it go. Goodbye. Goodbye.
All right. How about you?
You know, I kind of follow Jim because I was like, I got nothing. You know, it's an ever-evolving thing, and it's such a profound and poignant question. I don't want to make it up, but as I had the morning with Hilltop and so many things going on, and Lee gave me an amazing hug, and he said to me, you know, I hope your burden is less, the weight. And so I release the weight of a burden, and whatever that is, to be my full self, and you helped me do that, and he helped me do that. So that's what I got.
Okay, and here comes Paul with the wandering mic, and the first person he's going to is Clay.
Thank you, sir. I say goodbye to bad habits and hello to new experiences.
Love it.
And my endeavors to improving myself ongoing.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. That's worthy of a hand. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Liz, and I think it's time for me to say I'm not enough, and say hello to I am, which means a lot of doors opening.
All right. Yeah. Goodbye, not enough. I love y'all. Anyone else?
I think it's time to say goodbye to distraction. These little devices that we have in our hands can be terribly distracting. Suddenly I'm on a shopping site or someplace else that has nothing to do with what I really intend to do in life. So I'm ready to say goodbye to distraction.
Goodbye to distraction. Hello to folks.
Following along with what Carol said, I'm transitioning into a new life adventure and a new business, and it's going to take like 100% of my time. So everything that I've done in the past, all my little connections and stuff that I do, all has to disappear now, and I'm changing my world. I will be a world traveler too.
Right on. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? There's a hand. There's Chris.
Hello. What I was thinking of is as you drive down the street or you move through life, it was said that God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And so I'm just thinking of the meaning of the word goodbye. Everything that passes by is good. And there it goes.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes.
I like, what reminds me of is, what comes to mind is the teachings of the Buddha, and how, you know, he has this quote where he says, you know, attachment, what we want to hold on to, it's like holding on to a rope, and it just burns our hands the tighter we hold on. So it's this idea of letting go of what we're attached to. And also a lot of the teachings of what the barefoot rabbi taught as well. So it's very deep, and just knowing when to let go, knowing when there are like toxicity that's encroaching, to understand that yes, I can give my love, but to a certain degree where I have to say, you know, this is too much. I need to put up a boundary and say goodbye.
So go ahead. Yes, Les. So I was talking to one of our community members this morning, and we were talking just about that, and he was quoting Krishnamurti, where he said that Krishnamurti says that we should let every day that passes die, or something like that, right? Did I say that right? Close enough. You know, bird in the hand, worth two in the bush, something like that. Yes, every day passes and we release it. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay, with that cheery note. And actually it is.
It is a cheery note. Well, welcome again. My name is Andrea, and I'll be praying us in this morning. So I invite you to settle once again, to move from your head to your heart and to your feet. And in doing this, take a breath. Let your face relax. Let your jaw and tongue relax. Let your hands and fingers relax. So pay attention to your beloved body and say, I am here in this present moment right now. And in this moment, I am all that I am. Spirit, beloved one, beloved divine, I am blessed in this moment as I am here right now as I am. The light that is love, the light that is purpose, the light that is volition, the light that is all around me, manifesting in the hugs and the great, great love that is here. A greater love. May I know thy brilliance. May I feel thy beauty. May I breathe an empowered place of divinity that flows through me right here and now. And I take a breath because I move from my head to my heart. And I breathe into the power of this muscle, of this mind, of this presence as I say yes, Divine One, Father, Mother, God, nature, all that is. I say yes to all that exists in this world, to my beingness, to the love that we call Hilltop Spiritual Center, to each and every one, I say yes. And may I understand that I am not in charge, that I can let go, that I can be this conduit for the divine because I am that. Known or unknown, I am a conduit for the divine. And when I know this, in this conscious moment, I can breathe into my heart and my whole beingness, knowing I am that I am. I am the light and the way. So I trust myself. I embody this. I say yes to who I am in this moment. I feel the groundedness of my feet and all the love circling around me, and I breathe it in and I breathe it out, and I say yes. So to this service, it is a divine blessing. We have come to share love. We have come to share our gifts. We have come simply to be the presence as an offering. So to our beloved Rev. Dr. Guy, you say yes in all your truth and all your wisdom as you stand before us every Sunday, and as you work and prepare and give all that is, knowing that he is a conduit of the light and the love. And our music shines forth and our spirits lift up, and we want to sing and we want to share in the beauty and light with each other. So thank you all for knowing this with me, for blessing it with me, and for being one in the truth and the light. And so it is. So the reading for today is simple and deep. And it goes like this. Zen pretty much comes down to three things. Everything changes. Everything is connected. Pay attention. Jane Hirschfield. So we go into 3 minutes of a silent contemplation with these words and anchoring into your mindfulness. And as we sit to shine the light within, as Ram Dass says, we go behind that which changes to find that which does not change. And give yourself a little smile as you come back into the room.
I am the light, I am the light in this world. I am the light, I am the light, I am the light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. Look at someone and say, you are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. I am the light, I am the light, I am the light, I am the light in this world. I am the light, I am the light, I am the light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. One more time. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. Please welcome our Reverend Dr. Guy Williams.
I'm pondering that Zen quote. Everything changes, everything is connected, pay attention. I love that. So the other thing that I love are surprises. Well, let me qualify it. Most times I love surprises, like when the sprinkler broke in the front yard last week. That was a surprise, and I wouldn't say that that thrilled me, but most times I like surprises. And I had a surprise this morning, and the surprise is this. My brother Lee, who I love and adore deeply, had no idea who the band Traffic was. We are a loving community, man. I just saw the pitchforks come out. What? You don't know? What? Leave this room. I'll bet you by next Sunday he knows them. Yeah. So Traffic. So the reason I said, what are people saying about this, right? I love it. Blind Faith, Blind Faith. You got to know Blind Faith. Blind Faith? Yeah. Yes, everything's connected, but everything passes, everything changes. So anyway, Steve Winwood. Anyway, there's a song by Traffic that's been kind of the theme this week for me. Actually, they didn't write this song. They did a rendition of a song. It's actually an old Celtic ballad called John Barleycorn Must Die. You all know that song, John Barleycorn? There were three men. So it's a song really about the threshing and of the harvesting, and because it's dealing with autumn. And I guess that's the point I'm attempting to make in a very long, interesting way, is that it is now, we're moving towards the season of autumn. This is the last week of summer. And it's also the last week of our quarterly theme of being thank you. From all discord, freedom from all discord. Yes. So, God, I already lost my place on that. I'm a little flummoxed. So let me get back to where I want to be. Freedom from discord. So, to me, autumn symbolizes this season where things begin to pass. Things begin to die. And they begin to die, we look at the great wheel, that it's not like there's a permanence, because, you know, when we watch the world as it unfolds, when we watch the universe as it unfolds, it's more cyclical than linear. It's autumn precedes winter, which precedes spring, which precedes summer, where we are in right now. And so we are both seeing something passing as something is wanting to emerge. Something is dying so something else can come forward. It's just basically the nature of how things are. And it's a great metaphor when we look at our own life and how we realize that there are seasons in our own life that sometimes pass for another season, another chapter, another experience, another adventure for us to begin. St. Paul writes this in the book of Corinthians. He says, "When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I reasoned like a child. I thought like a child. But now I have become a man, and I have put an end to childish things." And then he goes on to say, "We see a reflection in a mirror. Then we will see face to face. Now I know partially, but then I will know completely, in the same way that I have been completely known." And I think that's the catcher, that I will see completely in the same way that I was completely known. So there's this invitation to spiral into something, to settle into something deeper, you know, to experience this thing that I think is the most important truth. If you have learned anything from me, learn this, that the truest thing about you is that you are seen, you are known, and you are loved by that very presence and force that brought all creation into being. It is as vast and as transcendental as our own imagination will allow it to travel, but it is as personal and it is as deep and as connected to us as the very breath that we breathe. And so in some way, what I would say is, my talk today is this idea of saying goodbye, because what is it that is kind of viscerally saying, it's time to let this go? Something is wanting to emerge. Something is coming, and maybe I don't even articulate what it is, and I probably am not articulating what it is if I'm more focused on what is passing, because we really can't see it if we're still immersed in the experience of where we're wanting to go with this. And you know, as we're moving towards this newness, you know, one of the things that happens next week, during close to the equinox, next Sunday will be the equinox, but close to that is Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year's. But there's Megra is also around this time. There's a lot of cultures that see, interestingly enough, autumn as a time of beginning of a new year. In fact, the Kabbalists think, or they teach, or they express, or they dance, or whatever the word is that I want to use, that on Rosh Hashanah is not only just the new year, but it's the birthday of the universe. And so it's this movement into a new creation, something new, another cycle in this thing. I was thinking this week, you know, what do you get a universe that's, you know, 14 plus whatever billion years old? But we celebrate this intention, this experience of what is new and what is wanting to come. And I was thinking also this week, there's this line of this story from Jesus in the Gospel of St. Matthew. And he begins it by saying, he's telling a story, and he's talking about, you know, don't be concerned, don't worry. And then he says this really interesting thing. He says, consider the lilies of the field. He says, they don't work, they don't sow, they don't engage. And then he says, but then Solomon, in all his glory is not arrayed in such beauty as these. And then he goes on to say in this same quote of sayings that the author had put attributing to him, is he says this, he says, seek first the kinship of God and its right beingness, and then all else will be given to you. Which I think is a lovely thought, but it struck me that really what he's going back to is he's referencing Solomon. So in the Hebrew story, in the legends and the myths of the great kings and the things that were going on, in the book of Kings, 1 Kings, there's a story of Solomon. And the story goes that Solomon was, his father was David, and when David died and he was ascending the throne, God says, what do you want? And he says, I want wisdom. I want discernment. And then the story goes that the Holy One says to him, because you have not asked for a thing like a new car or a pyramid or a sphinx or whatever kings in the ancient world would get, he says, because you did not ask for a thing, I will grant you all these things. You will be the greatest of kings in your lifetime. Because instead of asking for a thing, you asked for a state of consciousness. Because you asked for wisdom, everything else is given, which is kind of exactly what Jesus I think, is saying here as well. Because I think, so let me put it this way. Here's the deal. The art of manifestation, the ability to manifest, is not an exact science. And anybody that can promise you 3 steps, 2 words, 1 thing, whatever, to manifest your heart's desire is not telling you the truth. Treatment that we do, our form of prayer, regular prayer, ceremonial magic, whatever, however you do, what these things do is they help straighten the path. They get our attention. But there's no magic pill that says to do it this way or do it that way. There's something else more nuanced, which is instead of going for the thing, go for the wisdom. And the wisdom itself allows us to be positioned to what we're wanting. There's this other statement of Jesus where he says, you can't put new wine in an old wineskin because it'll burst the wineskin. You can't put a new cloth on an old garment because it'll rip it off. Because what he's saying there, I believe, is this, is you can't treat, pray, whatever your practice is, you can't do that for a new thing if the old paradigm is still there. You cannot treat for prosperity if the paradigm that you're living by is poverty. You can't treat for love if your habit is to be afraid. You can't treat for health if you're, going to Jack in the Box every week. Whatever the case may be, there's an incongruency. There isn't a magic pill on how we do this. Rather, what there is an invitation to, as Ernest Holmes says, we don't get what we want in this life, we get what we become. And so part of that whole thing of getting what we become is letting go of old habits. And I've been sitting with this word all week, habits, because I love etymology. When you look at the roots of a word, the root of habit is actually how we dress, a habit, a habiliment. The Latin word for it is how we attire ourselves. So in many ways, habits are what our clothes are. Habits are what our thoughts wear. You with me on this? Because you take all the experiences that we've ever had, and that kind of creates a garment by which we clothe our thoughts. And so sometimes the thing of it is when you think in terms of poverty, and I'm not, again, this is not an exact science, so I'm not saying that everybody in the world that is poor is because they have a habit of poverty. But what I would say, especially in a culture such as ours, is that we run the danger of thinking that it's outside of us, and sometimes it's inside of us. And sometimes it's important for us to examine ourselves and see what our habitual thoughts are, what our self-talk continues to say, how our mind has been ingrained in a certain way that it always returns to kind of a default way of being. I used to have a friend of mine, and she was a healer, and she said, one of the tough things about being a healer, she said, is she would work with people and they would get healed, but then they would come up with another condition, another thing. It was kind of like whack-a-mole. You treat this and that worked, and then all of a sudden it shows up here. Because really what was going on is they were more in the paradigm of ill health than that they were in the consciousness of health itself. And you see that, I remember reading this statistic years ago about, people that win lotteries. You would think, God, if all I have to do is win $10 million, my life would be set. And yet you find, like, within 2 years, 4 years, whatever it is, they're usually more broke than they were when they had it. Because if the consciousness hasn't changed, it doesn't matter how much money you give somebody, they will figure out how to return to their habit of poverty if that hasn't changed. And it doesn't matter how many dating apps you go on, if your idea about who you are doesn't change, it doesn't matter if Prince Charming or Princess Charming shows up, you will figure out a way to sabotage that relationship. Because it's not the external thing, it's the internal thing that often creates the repetition of our life. Because if you ever say to yourself, if you hear you're saying, here it goes again, or there it is again, or anytime we do those kinds of things, maybe it's not outside. Maybe, just maybe, sometimes it's on the inside. And sometimes those ideas need to shift. David Foster Wallace wrote this in his book, This is Water, which is just an amazing essay. He says this, he says, everything in my own immediate experience supports my deep belief that I am the absolute center of the universe, the realest, most vivid and important person in existence. We rarely talk about this sort of natural, basic self-centeredness because it's socially repulsive. But it's pretty much the same for all of us deep down. It is our default setting, hardwired into our boards at birth. Think about it. There is no experience that you have had that you were not at the absolute center of it. The world as you experience it is right there in front of you or behind you, to the left or the right of you, on your TV or your monitor or whatever. Other people's thoughts and feelings have to be communicated to you somehow, but your own are so immediate, urgent, real. Meaning, cooperators are standing by, but we become so enchanted with our own story that we're telling ourselves about how things are and what's going on, that sometimes we miss these things because we're addicted, or we have the habit of the story that we tell ourselves about why things are. And sometimes that story was good at the beginning, but may no longer be necessary. I struggled with sharing the story that I wanted to share with you because I don't want it to be misunderstood. It's from Don Milo Duquette's book, My Life with the Spirits. And take it for how you want it, because it's a story of an exorcism. Now, you can believe in exorcisms or not. You can believe in spirits or not. That's not the point. That's not why I'm telling the story. I'm telling the story to illustrate something different. So him and a buddy of his were called, in the book he writes, they were called to do an exorcism. There was a woman that had been abused by her stepfather since she was a small child. And how she coped with this is there was this imaginary dragon that came up, and while she was being abused, it took her away from the pain and the trauma of what was going on. It kept her sort of safe in her imagination. But what happened is she found herself incapable of being in any kind of healthy or sustaining relationship, because although the story of the dragon kept her safe as a child, it was sabotaging her capacity to be engaged in loving, nurturing relationships. Do you kind of see the paradigm in this? So in a sense, it was kind of like, thank you very much for keeping me safe as a child, and now you have to go away. And that's like so many habits that each of us have. They may have been really good. They may have had a point. You know, at some point when we develop these habitual thoughts, we call them beliefs, we were looking at things, as St. Paul says, as a child or as a young person or as an adolescent or a person who was in trauma or a person who was scared or whatever the case may be, whatever the external things were. Our highest wisdom at that point was to develop an idea that kept us safe and protected. And that was a good thing until it wasn't, until we find then that our life changes forever and has become limited and confined because we're stuck in a paradigm that doesn't let us grow. So, my invitation for each of us today then is just to consider this. Is there something in your heart? Is there a longing, a desire for something? Think about that. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands or anything like that, but I'm just going to invite you to consider that thought. Is there something that you desire? Is there something that you long for? And can you begin to articulate what prevents that from coming? Is there a thought? Is there a habit? Is there a belief that acts as a barrier to the very thing that is calling you? And maybe you might even want to consider, what was the genesis of that thought? When was that idea or belief a good thing? And where is it now becoming uncomfortable? And the thing about habits, like horses, you don't break them. You reconcile them. You engage them. And sometimes with a habit, as Dr. Holmes says, we begin to not necessarily banish that, but we create something new that begins to neutralize that and to replace that. So if you can think right now of what is the barrier, maybe the next thought can be, if I am letting this go, who am I going to be? What am I supposed to look like? How do I function? If what you're treating for is health, how does a healthy person live? If I am treating for love, what does loving look like? What does it feel like? What does it experience? What skills do I need to learn? And then, because, our work is so centered in the imaginal, is there a model? Is there a prototype? Is there somebody or something that I can see, and then I can kind of use that imagination as a portal to allow me to enter into the imaginal world, where then I can begin to see myself in this situation as a different person than who I am today. I will tell you, in my 20 years, 20 plus years in ministry, what I have learned to appreciate about manifestation, it's all about self-esteem. It's all about loving ourself. It's all about loving ourself enough to let go of habitual thoughts that no longer serve us, to create the space for loving experiences and moving with the desire, which I believe is Spirit luring us into a greater experience of flourishing. Eugene Terracut, who's a philosopher that I follow, says it this way. He says, how do you fight a losing battle and not lose it? There is a victory beyond the external triumph. It's a glimpse of paradise on earth. When the odds become unsurmountable, something stirs within us, and we rise above fear and despair with a sudden and inexplicable desire to stand to the end. There's something about that invitation to move beyond that. And in these days, that's more important than at any other time probably in human history. Because as I quoted last week, Abraham Heschel said in the 50s that the greatest ecumenical movement in the country is nihilism. Ponder that. That's the growing spirituality of our world, is nihilism. And nihilism unrestrained leads to terrible things. Just read a book and you can see it, how it's placed itself in history. And our work as a community, but as individuals and as individuals who make up a community, is to replace that sense of nihilism, which was probably a good idea at the time, but no longer serves us. Those habits of lack, loss, pain, poverty, sin, sickness, and death, they may have served us at a time, but I ask you, do they serve you today? And what would Spirit invite differently? What would that presence that knows you, sees you, loves you, and is always present invite you to become? Where is this divine presence leading you? And in order to move forward, what is it that you need to leave behind? So let's just take that moment into prayer. Recognizing the One, the Holy One, that which is the Ein Sof, the allness within the allness within the allness. It is the source of all creation. It's that which creates, sustains, renews, that which is novel and agile, but is the presence of unrelenting love. It is the truest thing about me as it is the truest thing about each and every person in this room. That we are loved, we are known, we are seen, we are guided. It's like I always say, cooperators are standing by. There is that presence that is available to us. It is the agreement that says, yes, yes, yes. And sometimes it is that which says, this is greater than I can comprehend. This is greater than I know, and I don't know the way out, but I know that I can be guided. I know that I can listen. I know that I am teachable. Guide me. Show me the next indicated step. But most of all, in this moment, here and now, as I sit in this room on this chair, breathing, I am grateful for the breath in me. I'm grateful for the life in me. I'm grateful for the community that surrounds me. I'm grateful for the joy that is there for me. And I let that come as I let go of anything that is not that. And so it is.
Thanks so much, Rev. Slow it down, everybody, slow it down. Slow it down, everybody, slow it down. Bow your crown, everybody, to the ground. Everybody, slow it down, everybody, slow it down. Let it go, 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 oh. Go slow, everything's just one we know. So flow. Let it go, 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 oh. Go slow, everything's just one we know. So flow. We're all looking for something from the time we enter. We're all looking for something until we're back to center. Are you looking for something? Is it not in the room? Are you looking for something? And does it feel like doom? Let it go, 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 oh. Go slow, everything's just one we know. So flow. Let it go, go, go. Go slow, everything's just one we know. So flow. I'm gonna breathe, surrender. Breathe, surrender. That heart extender. Just breathe. I'm gonna breathe, surrender. Breathe, surrender. That heart extender. Just breathe. And let it go, go, go. Go slow, everything's just one we know. So flow. Let it go, 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 oh. Go slow, everything's just one we know. So flow. Slow it down, everybody, slow it down. Slow it down, everybody, slow it down. Bow your crown, everybody, to the ground. Everybody, slow it down, everybody, slow it down.
Give it up for Jim Jones there on the percussion every Sunday. Wonderful talk, Rev. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Rev, Guy, for that very inspiring and tools that we could use, a way forward, a little map and guide. Thanks, Jim and Lee, for your beautiful music. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is our time of conscious giving. So we offer our hearts as we come. That's obvious. We love so much, and we get a chance to be loved here. And here in our time of financial support, if you are choosing to give in that way, we know that you give online and you give virtually, you give via Venmo. There are many ways to give, and cash in hand is always wonderful. So we appreciate all that you do and all that you give here. And as you hold it to your heart, we know that there is an abundant flow in all things. And as you give, you receive. So thank you so much for your kind gifts.
People coming through. There's people like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do, You keep on coming through. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Thank you. The people coming through.
Thank you. I'm just so grateful for you guys. I just truly am. Mike, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. We are very blessed to have you guys come. So, and thank you guys for being here again. Hang out for the board meeting. It's fun. I think we're giving away a new car today too, aren't we? Or something like that. That's working there. Tithing. I want to thank Mike and Steve back there on the soundboard. You guys making us sound good and look good. That's fabulous. So Gary's leaving. Too bad. Bye, Gary. Oh, so good to see him here. We love you, buddy. We love you. It's good to have you here today. Yeah. So big thanks for them. Big thanks for the greeters. There was a crowd out there today. Let's see. There was Karen and Larry was there. Chris was there. Matt was there. Who else was there? Betty was there. Anybody else there out greeting? Paul, you weren't there greeting. But you're here, and we're grateful for you. Yeah, you know. Spiritual practices. By the way, Paul underestimates himself. He's actually an extremely good teacher. He really is an extremely good teacher. So I strongly recommend the class, yes. Big thank you to Kurt and Julieta. I think they're flying solo today for the food. So we're grateful for them. Mark coming down here during the week and making the grounds look beautiful. And anybody, let's see, Noreen is in the gift shop doing her thing. Andrea does her thing. Everybody's doing their things. Happy, happy, happy. So grateful for everybody here. That's that. If you're here, it's the first time, I'd love to meet you at the service. Or if you're an old timer, I'd love to say hello to you. If I'm not scripted, I'm like Rain Man, you know? It's like I'm socially inept. So with that, let's pray. God, let's pray. So again, I love these words. I say them often, but they're worth considering. As Ralph Waldo Emerson says, prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. The highest point of view is that there's one life that expresses itself multi-dimensionally. That everything is unique within itself and part of this great thing called life. How grateful I am that we live in a expanding, evolving, interesting and complex and joyful thing called a universe. And that universe is personified within each and every one of us, our own individual body and our own mind. We are, as St. Teresa of Avila says, the eyes, the ears, and the hands of that very being. We are the activity of spirit. We are evolution become consciousness. And it doesn't end here. So may our hands do good work, our eyes see goodness in all things, our ears listen to the joy of life as it resounds itself. May every activity be blessed. May we be filled with amazement and surprise. May it lead us to reverence. May that reverence enable us into action that creates flourishing upon the planet. So we let it be. So it is.
Well, it's not clear, but I'm just like you. I've been over here pointing fingers too. But if you want change, you gotta do what's good. You gotta carry that water, chop that wood. If you want change, you gotta do what you oughta. Chop that wood and carry that water. If you want change, you gotta do what you oughta. Chop that wood and carry that water. Well, everything I do is part of this earth. Step by step, I'm gonna add some worth. We could feel afraid, but you can't deny it. We feel at ease when we help each other try it. If you want change, you gotta do what you oughta. Chop that wood and carry that water. If you want change, you gotta do what you oughta. Chop that wood and carry that water.
Because we're all together.
Because we're all together. Yes, we are. Sing, we're all together. No matter where you're coming from. Sing, we're all together. Yeah. Yes, we're all together. Well, we should should get together and sing these songs, but it's gonna take more to right these wrongs. I'm gonna know my history, I'm gonna do myself a favor, treat someone better and trust my neighbor. If you want change, you gotta do what you ought to. Chop that wood, carry that water. If you want change, you gotta do what you ought to. Chop that wood and carry that water. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, because we're all together. It's cheesy, but it's true. I said we're all together, no matter where you're coming from. Sing we're all together. Sing we're all together.
All together. Happy Sunday, everybody. Have a great one. I'm gonna go play a wedding right now.